Hello and welcome to the Moment Podcast, live from 100.3 KMUL The Mule or YouTube. My name is Rudy, and today I'm joined by my co-host Michael. Today we will be listening to the album Skylarking by XTC Ecstasy. Um, if you are listening on the radio, stay tuned as we are about to play the full album right after the sponsorships. And if you're watching on YouTube, pause the video right now, go listen to Skylarking by Ecstasy, and then come back for our discussion. Um, yeah, that's about it. You're about to listen to Skylarking by Ecstasy again on the moment, live from 100.3 KMUL The Mule. See you in a bit. And we are back. Per usual, before we get into the discussion, I'm going to give some context to our artist and the album we just listened to. So I will start with the band Ecstasy. They are an English rock band formed in Swindon in 1972. I don't know where that is. Originally emerging from the post punk and new wave scene. Led by principal songwriter Andy Patridge, the band became known for their inventive, catchy melodies, sophisticated arrangements, and often surreal, witty lyrics. They blended influences from psychedelia, pop, and rock, creating songs that were both experimental and highly melodic. Despite limited commercial success in the United States, Ecstasy were highly influential, shaping the sound of later alternative and power pop bands. Their refusal to tour after 1982 didn't stop them from crafting some of their most ambitious and beloved studio albums. And about Skylarking, the album, it was released in 1986 and is often regarded as their magnum opus. Produced by Todd Rundgren, the album showcases the band at their most cohesive and imaginative, blending pastoral pop melodies with rich layered production. Themes of nature, the passage of time, and cycles of life run throughout the record, while songs like Dear God and Grass mix humor, social commentary, and philosophical reflection. Rundgren's influence helped Ecstasy craft an album that flows seamlessly from track to track. Definitely those first two songs, giving it a near conceptual feel. Skylarking remains a high point of 1980s British pop rock, whimsical, thoughtful, and endlessly inventive. Yeah, Michael, first impressions. What do you think about Skylarking by Ecstasy?
It was a fun album to listen to. The intro song got me hooked, and just the rest of it, it felt like an '80s album.
Yeah,
in the best way.
It really is like the peak '80s album to me. How did you realize you were into the second song when you were into it? Because it flows so smoothly, and it's
I didn't realize that at first. Yeah,
it gives me chills.
A lot of the songs flow together,
Yeah.
which I really like.
I played that for my roommate. He's behind cameras right now. When I first heard it, and I just kept spamming it for like a whole month. I would always click the first song and then cue Grass. Click Summer's Cauldron, cue Grass, and I would just listen to the transition because it just hits so hard. Um, yeah, I love this album as well. That is why I picked this. And I also think it's very, very underrated. Now they do describe it in that little blurb that it's like the magnum opus of them, but if you look at the listens, it's not anything like too big, and it seems like it should be really big. I think that's what's super drawing about this is that I think if like the general population did know about this album, it would be pretty big even today.
Oh, yeah.
I think like it has so many songs in it that feel like just the best pop songs I've like ever heard, especially like around that time. And I agree that this is Ecstasy's magnum opus. Now they do have a good bit that I haven't heard, so I can't say that confidently. But this is definitely my favorite project I've heard from them. So I mentioned about this album that it is, you know, there are heavy themes of cycles in it, and that is totally what I noticed too. Like, also I mean, they say the word cycles in multiple songs, I'm pretty sure. But I do feel like it was all about just kind of like processes within everything,
Yeah.
kind of. There's a lot of nature elements to this. There's a lot of they have a lot of like bird noises and
Yeah.
nature sounds to kind of reflect those themes, but also the lyrics are covering very just things you'd see in nature, kind of
Mm-hmm.
a lot of references like that. And yeah, I think Summer's Cauldron, the first song, is a really good way to start off the album. It really does feel like it gets you into it. And though um, I can't really, I would say the concept to this album is very vague, but it is, I would put the word cycles in nature as the way to describe it. But I
Definitely.
don't think it's just solely like one major theme that runs throughout the whole album.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say the same?
I don't know. I feel like I don't mean to repeat, but like I think it's about cycles,
Yeah, yeah.
and that's just what I noticed throughout the entire album. I don't know exactly what kind of cycles it means, but
Yeah, I just kind of took it as like you just all the cycles in life, whether that be like the cycle of a life or the cycle of the things around you that are alive, just all the processes in the world, and like what they mean to them. To the lead singer, trying to figure out what his name was. Um, Looks like Andy Patridge and Colin Moulding were the two lead singers for this band, which I don't know much about them, but who I do know about is Todd Rundgren, which I just figured out after reading that he produced this album, which I don't think he's part of this band, but he did, I guess, produce the whole thing, which is probably one of the big reasons I really like this, because he's a very, very talented person. He is, he's very. I no, I don't think objective is a good word to use, but he's very professional about how he does things, while also not being like corporate. Like he's professional and really knows like the intricacies of so many different things when it comes to music, but his creative influence is still there. It doesn't disappear. He's not doing anything to please anyone's ears other than himself. And I think that really shows in this album too. It feels so unique, yet it all seems like something a lot of people could like.
definitely, yeah.
Yeah, it's saying here he's known for his perfectionism, which, yeah, I would say that's another word I was kind of looking for there. He's very perfectionist with it, and like the production is just on top of it. Everything about it, even just being able to, fade those songs into each other. I just think that's a
It
whole
felt
skill in
yeah, it
itself.
felt very layered. Like every song felt very layered, and I was
Yeah.
trying to like pick them apart to try to figure out like what instruments were playing, and like sometimes I couldn't really figure it out. Um, yeah,
Yeah, lots of instruments where I'm like, is this a real instrument or a synth?
Yeah.
Lots of moments like that for me. And it also just has me like questioning how they produced it, because there's
Yeah.
so many
There's
things.
so much going on.
Yeah. But it sounds so clean. It's very mastered. It is very uh smooth all the way through. It doesn't feel like anything's like layering in a messy way, kind of like some heavier rock type albums do. Um, how would you describe this album, like to give it a genre? Because here it says chamber pop is a good way to describe it. Now I don't know.
I don't know what chamber pop is.
Yeah, I don't know much about it either. It does say chamber pop, also called baroque pop, is a genre that combines rock music with intricate use of strings, horns, piano, and vocal harmonies.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah, I guess that would make sense. I definitely call this a pop album.
It's very it I it's probably like pop with heavy orchestral influence. Yeah. Yeah, do you think this album would like be big amongst a lot of people even today? Because I think it really holds up. It's kind of timeless, even though you can kind of figure out when it was made just by hearing it.
Yeah, I feel like if it went trending on TikTok or like some songs went trending on social media, I feel like it would get picked up. But I honestly didn't know about Ecstasy until you introduced me to them. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that makes sense. I didn't really know much about them until last year, and it feels like they should be someone that a lot of people know
yeah,
about, I guess.
yeah.
Um, yeah, so I want to kind of talk about some of our favorite songs, not our favorite song to a T, but just some of the ones that caught our eyes and why.
Okay.
To me, the standout song, um, when I first heard it was The Meeting Place. That was the first song I heard from this album, and I listened to it for a long time before I listened to the whole album. Um, but that one just
I
it's
need to look up. I need to pull up the songs
I
because I
get
can't think of
here.
them
I'll
off the
give
top of
you
my
a
head.
little. No, it just like the meeting place, and it's just super catchy. And I thought it was just gonna be one of those things where it's just like a one song out of an album that really hits hard for me. It's just like catchy and memorable.
Hmm.
But there are so many that are the same way that feel so memorable and get stuck in my head.
Yeah,
And when I think about them, I notice that it's Summer's Cauldron, Grass, The Meeting Place. That's really super, super girl.
yeah.
So these first songs in the album,
They're
all the
so good.
beginning, I'm wondering, like, do you think it holds up all the way through? Because all my favorite ones is literally almost the first seven. Like,
I feel like it does hold up because I really liked Dear God at the end.
yes, Dear God is
Yeah,
great.
I thought A Thousand Umbrellas was an interesting one too.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it. So I had it here somewhere. Oh yeah, Dear God was one of the ones that did better on this album, and it was almost cut before they released it, which I thought
Really?
was really interesting because
Huh.
it is very standout, and just feels like one of the easier ones to like.
Interesting.
Um, it looks like the label they were under didn't really like it said provocative lyrics about religion, which
Okay.
I can see, but
Yeah, especially in
because
the
they're worried
80s.
about radio and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But um, yeah, no, I think it was absolutely worth keeping on, and it definitely was one of the harder hitting ones for me. Yeah, so I want to go back to the themes of nature. It says also a heavy theme throughout this, which kind of fits within cycles as time.
Hmm.
Um, so I felt like grass really is that one that emphasizes that nature theme for me. That's like the heaviest one. But also was thinking about this, and we might have to cut this out depending on what we're allowed to say. But I'm almost certain that song was not just talking about grass and maybe something else like grass that you smoke. Um, because the lyrics are, it's he's saying all the things that we do on grass. I don't think it's just
It definitely felt like
yeah,
there was something else behind this.
yeah, and personally, I love when there can be these things that they're talking about, like religion or like drugs that are controversial. Not everyone wants to hear about it, but they can make it in a way that one doesn't totally allude to, hey, this is obviously drugs he's talking about.
Yeah.
Or here's like obviously he's obviously having a controversial take on religion or whatever. Like, it's very subjective, and he doesn't make it like a direct thing that he's talking about, that they're talking about. And I think that's nice when you can just like appreciate a song knowing that there's these themes in it, but
Yeah.
it's not like forced in your face, and you could listen to it without having to draw those themes. I really appreciate that, because I feel like it's stuff like that I can show my dad, and he's not like turn it off. Like, he could listen to it, and maybe not. Maybe it's almost better that he doesn't pick up on those. Yeah. No, I love grass, and I love just like everything that they're talking about, and it's kind of a funny song to me when you realize that
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just making that up in my head, but I'm almost certain that's kind of what they were going for. Um, it keeps you in, and you're just kind. I mean, personally, when I first listened to it, I was waiting for them to miss. I was
Really?
like waiting for a song to miss, and it just didn't happen. It usually these albums will have like their standout songs, and there won't be ones that they just fall flat. But I I can't really name one that fell flat on this album.
Yeah, I thought it was consistent all throughout. It was really good.
Yeah. Um. So I want to talk about the cover a little bit, as we've been doing. It
Yeah.
looks like it was painted by Peter Andrews, a pseudonym of Todd Rundgren. Wow, didn't know that. Looks like this guy just has his hands all over this album, and I had no clue. But yeah, I really like it. I like all like it looks
It's
like
simple
a
yet
chalkboard.
effective. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, it is. It's really simple. I really like the main little drawing on the front. We'll pull it up for you if you're watching on YouTube. But yeah, I think it's super cool. And there's like a little small detail where one of the eyes looks like a leaf or like a clover or like
really? I
something
didn't see
just
that.
like in the yellow. It's really small, but I thought that was a cool little detail. And also just like the teal cover, it's like
It was just appealing to look at.
it's appealing to look at and really memorable. And when I like talk about this album, I when I brought it up to some of my friends, I can never remember the name Skylarking, and I always just say the Teal album, and they know what I'm talking about. Like it is just I guess the color really sticks with me. I don't know, it's nothing too special, but I do really like it. Yeah, it says it depicts a surreal for people listening. It depicts a surreal pastoral landscape with birds, trees, and a sense of infinite sky, visually echoing the themes throughout the album. Um, yeah, absolutely. It does kind of have a nature feeling, especially with like those white little chalk marks on the teal. It looks kind of like grass
Yeah.
in a way. Like
Were they
wavy
playing
grass.
instruments? Is that what I saw?
Um,
Like, are they
yeah,
flutes
it looks like they're
or something?
playing.
Clarinets, maybe?
Yeah, like a clarinet or a really, really thin, yeah, like flutes. Probably a flute or like a. They kind of look like recorders. That's what I'm seeing. That'd be funny to just imagine this whole album like, but
On
just
recorder.
recorded.
Yeah.
So on that note, we are running out of time. So I would like to get into our final conversation. Name our favorite songs, what we rank the album, and rank the album cover. You go first.
All right. I think my favorite song is probably Grass. It caught my attention when I started first listening to it. So yeah, I'd probably say that one's my favorite. I'd give the album cover like a 9. I like the artistic appeal
Yeah.
that it brings. And then I think I'd give the album like an 8.
Cool.
What would you give it?
I think I would give this album a 10 out of 10. Yeah, this is one of those albums that I have almost never had a problem with. Nothing that I will really skip past either when it comes up. Yeah, this album is huge for me, and I think I, I think it's just catchy in a new way, in a way that I can't really pinpoint much other albums that do it like this. And then also just the vocals, I love them, and they will always hit for me. Kind of with songs even outside of this album, the Andy Partridge guy, he knows what he's doing, and it sounds like the '80s that I like.
Yeah. The good 80s.
Yeah, the good '80s. Yeah. Favorite song, really in between either Grass or That's Really Super Supergirl. That one feels so, it's so fun. It is such a fun song. That would be the song I picked to skip to out of this album.
Yeah, I feel like if James Gunn ever made a Supergirl movie,
Dude,
it would have that song.
He's using that song. That is it.
That was what I was thinking about when I was listening to it, and I'm like, this feels like a very James Gunn kind of song.
Dude, absolutely. Yeah, I can totally see that. Cause like, yeah, he uses like what was the one in Superman, the Iggy Pop one? honestly similar vibes in a way.
That's
That I can 100% see that. That's a great take. I think he is doing a Supergirl show.
We got to
A
email
show
him.
or a movie. Yeah,
we got to
we
email
gotta
him.
get him
Let
on
him know.
this. If he's not already. Yeah. No, I love that. Yeah. So 10 out of 10. I'm gonna say that's really Supergirl is my favorite one, but um, I'll also say that if we count Summer's Cauldron and Grass together, that would be my favorite, just because
Okay,
it feels like
we
one
can do that. Why
huge
not?
epic song. Yeah, there's no rules. Yeah, and then the album artwork, I think I'll give it a 9 out of 10. I love the color; it's really memorable, just the way it looks. But I also like the really thin drawing of the people in
Yeah.
the middle. It feels like uh there's a word for this that I do not know, but it's just like mimicking old kind of like religious type of paintings,
Okay.
kind of in a way.
No, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, I just kind of got that feeling. It felt much older than it was, or like it was taken from something. But yeah, that was Skylarking by Ecstasy. Next episode, we will be listening to
Chinese Fountain by the Growlers.
Chinese Fountain by the Growlers. And yeah, thank you guys so much for listening / watching, and we will see you guys in the next episode. Later.